What the fuck?
Today, I am attempting to win Connor McDavid a Stanley Cup. And now my first order of mission to do this is to get McDavid some help. So I tried to make a move, and I couldn't make any moves to start the season because we had little to no money, and I couldn't do diddly shit. And now at the New Year's point, we were at 23-13-2. We were looking very, very strong. We were sitting as the 4th best team in the league. And I did try, like I said, I did try to make a move before the season started, but we had little to no money. I tried for going for Patrick Kane, Jacob Voracek, and some cheaper options like a Gustav Nyquist, and I couldn't get the job done. Obviously, here's your top point getters. Draisaitl with 50 points, 17 goals, 33 assists. How about McDavid? 18 goals, 27 assists, and 45 points. Not the Connor McDavid typical year you're usually expecting, but hey, he's getting the job done. Kyler Yamamoto is having a hell of a year. He's having a career year, 22 points in 38 games. Puljujärvi finally getting it together. Tyson Barrie, 21 points. We're looking great. How about goaltending? Jack Campbell, soupy, looking fantastic here. And now we do make a deal here for Dante Fabro to tighten up the defense and to get it much, much better. Trading a third, a fifth, Ryan McLeod, and bringing in Dante Fabro to put him in to the top pairing defensively. And we do fall to the 3rd seed in the Pacific. We do get a slight bit worse. We are 2-7-1 in our last 10 games. Shit's not been going our way. However, I believe we can get this together and get our heads out of our asses. I mean, it's just been a little bit of a skid. Just a little bit of a skid. Honestly, yeah, we're nowhere near the top 8 in the league where we were top 4. Obviously, Draisaitl 74 points. McDavid 73 points. How about Vander Kane 51 points? Darnell Nurse, I would like to see him do better. How about Dante Fabro? He hasn't been great either in his first 13 games. He hasn't actually been that great of an acquisition so far, and Campbell has gotten worse since Fabro's coming in. So I make another depth move of bringing Ivan Barbashev, bringing him in, nice third line piece in here at the deadline. I also bring in Marcus Johansson. I trade one little prospect who's not going to amount to anything or in the NHL. We bring Marcus Johansson in, and we also bring in Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Like 2 trades with the Capitals that I just noticed after I recorded this. I didn't believe I couldn't figure that out. And as here's the lines after all the deadline moves. Barbashev's your 3rd line center, and obviously Marcus Johansson on the 4th line. Trevor Van Riemsdyk 3rd line right defenseman. And we do make the playoffs, taking on the Calgary Flames in the first round. We had the battle out of Alberta. We're currently sitting at a 43-34-5 record with 91 points on the season. Could be much better. We are scoring pretty well, 311 goals for, but it's just that goals against. We're not getting good defense or that great of goaltending collectively. A little bit of a worry, and we do finish as the 14th best team in the league entering the playoffs. And player stats wise, Draisaitl had a hell of a year, 36 goals, 96 points. McDavid with 93 points. Vander Kane 64. Nugent Hopkins 51. Yamamoto career year 51 points. Jesse Puljujärvi finally slowly putting it together with 46 points. How about Ivan Barbashev? 11 points in 19 games. He's been phenomenal ever since he's landed foot here in Edmonton. He's been fantastic. How about Trevor Van Riemsdyk, like tightening it up defensively a little bit for a 6 points, 19 games with a +6. Been very good. How about Dante Fabro turning it around? 11 points in 32 games with a +11. He turned it around. Marcus Johansson 8 points in 19 games. He's been great on that 4th line here for us here in Edmonton, and in that Soupy, he's been okay, nothing crazy. And in game 1, we do lose to Calgary in overtime, a 3-2 overtime loss. Not the way you want to start off the series, but hey, we get it right back. Game 2, 2-1 defensive game. We come out strong with a massive win. And I decided to make some line changes because we didn't score very much in those games. So I thought it would be smart to make those line changes. But yet again, it didn't matter. We lose 2-1 to the Flames in game 3. Game 4, we win right back and forth here. We win 3-1. How about game 5? We lose 6-2. Okay, this is must win. Game 6, can we get the job done? And we do. We force it. Game 7 against our arch rival Calgary Flames, and we're going to simcast this. And can we move on to the next round? And after one, Nazem Kadri gives them a 1-0 lead. Nothing happened in the second, but Andre Mangiapane makes it 2-0. Huberdeau 3-0. And boys, this is this is wrapped up. Yeah, Hannafin, Calgary just kept putting it on and on. We couldn't do anything. We got our asses handed to us in Game 7, and we got bounced out of the first round by our arch rivals. And I do re-sign Dante Fabro because he was so good for us there at the end of the year. So we brought him back, and the Colorado Avalanche win the Cup, and the Connor Bedard sweepstakes are won by the Ottawa Senators. And now to start off the offseason, we're making some big moves. We draft Casper Holton, and we also trade Cody Ceci to free up cap space. Holton, I love the pickup. He can be very, very good for us here in Edmonton. As you see here, we are trading Warren Foegele straight up for Nico Daws because we need to free up cap space, and getting Foegele's contract off will help. And you see, he created $12.6 million cap space so we can re-sign Barbashev, Bouchard, and Jesse Puljujarvi, while also bringing in a veteran like James Van Riemsdyk, like bringing in a nice young offensive defenseman, Scott Perunovich, only for $1.7 million. How about this trade, folks? I was going through the trade finder looking at Tyson Barrie's trade to get his contract off the books. I see Spencer Knight is available, and this creates an opportunity to get rid of Jack Campbell's contract, bringing a nice young franchise goaltender. And in regards to that, we are trading Jack Campbell to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Sean Walker, a second-round pick, and Rud Weld. And that trade gave us our franchise goaltender, so we don't need to worry about goaltending now. And as you saw right there, we did sign Pew Sutter there for a nice third-line piece. And look at our forward lines. These forward lines are absolutely deadly. How about defense? And this should help us make us deeper defensively and help us gear up for a big-time playoff run here in year 2. How about our goaltending? Spencer Knight and Stuart Skinner. And at the trade deadline, we are sitting at a 36-26-2 record, sitting second place in the Pacific Division, having ourselves a great year. 317 goals for per game. Goals against, a little bit worrying, but we can probably fix that here in this deadline. And we're looking very, very solid here in the West, and I feel pretty confident about ourselves. 78 points in 64 games for McDavid, Draisaitl 76 in 64. And one of the big trades I make is trading for Joel Edmondson, giving up a first-round pick, pretty risky. And we also bring in Dominic Kubalik for a 5th and a 3rd round pick. That would help our forward core, and as you can tell, that top 9 absolutely lethal now with Dominic Kubalik in the frame. Even our fourth line, Pew Sutter, JVR, and Koskinen looking really well defensively. Edmondson printing perfectly on that 3rd line defensively. We should be really good. And well, it didn't work out that way because we were sitting outside the playoffs by 5 points, and this is not looking good. We get a shootout loss here against the Predators, and boys, we need to win this game here against the Coyotes. If we do not win this game, we're not making the playoffs. And after 2 periods, it is a 2-2 game. It's a 3-2 game now with Lawson Krause scoring on Stuart Skinner. I don't know. This is not good. This is not good. 6 minutes remaining. We need to do something. Are we really about to miss the playoffs after looking so strong going into the trade deadline? Yes! We missed the playoffs in year 2 with 88 points. And I got so pissed I fired the coach. Yeah! I would go on to re-sign Sean Walker to a 1-year deal, and also Stuart Skinner wanted to leave town, so instead we brought back Nico Daws, cheaper deal, let Stuart Skinner hit the market, and I see Brett Pache is in the market for free agency, and my eyes perked up a little bit, and I really was intrigued. So to free up some cap space, I trade JVR to the Rangers, and I looked at a Darnell Nurse trade. I fell in love with this Buffalo Sabres trade for Victor Olofsson and a 3rd round pick. This would free up cap space. Nurse is not worth his $9.1 million contract. We can bring in a better defenseman for a cheaper price tag, and I pulled the trigger on the trade. Darnell Nurse is no longer an Edmonton Oiler, and I go after and pursue Brett Pache, and guess what? Brett Pache is an Edmonton Oiler at a 6.2 times 4 deal, and I trade Pew Sutter because he didn't do much for us. He was kind of buried on the 4th line. We free up cap space and create an opportunity to sign Jacob Voracek, and now look at this top 9 offensively. Jacob Voracek paired up so well at Barbashev and Yamamoto. Olofsson first line with McDavid and Draisaitl. I mean, and then you got Evander Kane on the 4th line paired up with Dylan Holloway, Raphael Lavoie. I mean, this is looking very, very good with all of our forward lines. How about defensively? Dante Fabro playing with a better defensive player in Brett Pache, Brett Kulak, Evan Bouchard, and obviously in net we have Spencer Knight and Nico Daws. And at the trade deadline, we were not sitting pretty at all. 29, 21, and 13. with 71 points. I mean, we were scoring, but the goaltending and defense was so piss poor. I needed to do something about this. We were so bad after bringing in Brett Pache and all these moves with Olofsson and Voracek. We were still struggling offensively. Not offensively, but defensively and goaltending. We were struggling. So I go out and make a ballsy ass move. That being trading for Ivan Provorov, giving up Evan Bouchard, a second and a fourth round pick in exchange for Ivan Provorov, who is in a contract year. And we're hoping this trade will finally help us get over this defensive hump and not have as many offensive defensemen. And it really worked out. 42, 23, and 14. And we go out and re-sign Leon Draisaitl and Ivan Provorov. And this puts us yet again meeting the Calgary Flames in the first round of the playoffs. And we finished 45, 23, and 14. I mean, we went on an absolute tear. Look at the goals against now. It's 296 in our last 10. We went 8-1-1. And we were killing it. We finished 4th in the NHL. We're not a team to be fucking with here in these playoffs now. Calgary should be shivering right now going against this absolute wagon juggernaut Edmonton Oilers team. Just look at Voracek and look at Provorov. 12 points in 19 games. He's been absolutely lethal for this Edmonton Oilers team. So look at this run we went on after the trade deadline. That 4-1 loss against the Stars. Look at the amount of wins we've had since then. Absolutely incredible. And in game 1 against the Flames, we would beat the Flames 4-1. Game 2 in Calgary, we also beat them 4-2. And look at us. We're already up 2-0. How about 3-0 and a 5-0 shutout? Can we sweep the Flames? No, we cannot. We lose 5-2. How about winning in 5 games? And yes, we do. We win in 5 games against the Flames. And in round 2, we're taking on the Anaheim Ducks. We win game 1, 5-1. And we would go on to win game 2, 3-2. Game 3, we're up 3-0 against the Ducks. Here we go. Can we sweep them this time around? No. Just like Calgary, we couldn't finish the job. And just like Calgary, we do finish the job in 5 games. And guess what? We're going to the Western Conference Finals, taking on the Colorado Avalanche, the juggernaut they are. We win game 1, but we do go on to lose game 2. How about game 3? Very pivotal game 3. We go on to win 2-1, a defensive game. We needed this. Game 4, we lose 5-2. Okay, this is a back and forth series. Game 5, a massive dub. Can we win game 6 and go to the finals? Yes, we do. We're going to the finals, taking on the New York Rangers. Oh, shit. And here we are at home ice advantage against the Rangers. And look at this team. Panarin, Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Kreider, Sheetal, Kravitsov, Barclay Goodrow, Vinny Trocheck, Capo Caco, JVR, of course, and Victor Rask, and Matt Nieto. Defensively, Ryan Lindgren, Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, Jacob Trouba, Dylan Cholowski, and Braden Schneider, and in net, obviously, Igor Shesterkin. Now, don't forget about the wagon we got here in Edmonton. Hyman, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Yamamoto, Draisaitl, Voracek, Evander Kane, Ivan Barbashev, Puljujärvi, Olofsson, Dylan Holloway, and Raphael Lavoie. Defensively, Provorov and Pache. Look at Provorov. Chef's kiss. He's been phenomenal. Sean Walker, Dante Fabro, Philip Broberg, and Dmitry Samurikov. And obviously in that, the American sensation who's having a hell of a playoffs, hell of a Stanley Cup playoff run, Spencer Knight. And we are geared up for an instant classic. Game 1, we would beat the Rangers 2-1. Game 2, can we beat them? No, we go and lose. It's tied up going back to MSG, but we win game 3, 2-1. 2-1 series lead here going into game 4, but we lose 2-1 against the Rangers. Very pivotal game 5. And we lose to the Rangers 4-1. Now this is do or die right here. We must win out. We cannot lose another game. Here we go, game 6. Power play early for the Rangers. Nothing happens. Power play for us. Sean Walker scores from the left side circle. 1-0 Oilers. And at the end of 1, the Rangers score twice, both by Mika Zibanejad. It's a 2-1 Rangers lead. And they had a little bit of a shot advantage, but now it's tied up, now even. And a 2, nothing happens. Still a 2-1 hockey game. Rangers still up 1. They're hanging on for dear life, but we're fighting back. McDavid, this is a legacy game, and James Van Riemsdyk scores. But Zach Hyman said, wait a minute, we're not out of this yet. 9 minutes remaining. Let's slow this down a little bit. 8.5 remaining. Can someone, McDavid, please, we need you here. Draisaitl, Yamamoto, we have 5.5 minutes to keep us in this. Can we do something? Power play for the Oilers, please. No, we get nothing. 1.5 minutes. Come on, somebody, please do something. 1 minute, somebody, fucking please. 40 seconds. Voracek scores in 29 seconds remaining. Boys, it looks like we're going to overtime. Oh, so you fucking thought. Philip Broberg with 1 second remaining. He scores. It is a 4-2-3 win in Game 6. And guess what? It is a Game 7 back in Edmonton. McDavid, this is your legacy game. Here we go. Game 7. Can we please do something at the end of one? Leon Draisaitl scores alongside of Temi Panarin. It is a 1-1 hockey game. Lafreniere scores. It's a 2-1 game. Oh no. On the power play. Halfway through the second. And at the end of 2, it's going to be a 3-1 Rangers game. We're down 2. But hey, remember, we were down 2 last game in Game 6. But we came back, okay? I still believe. We have 15 minutes remaining. The McDavid, we need you here, buddy. You need to step up. Power play, Connor McDavid. He's not going down without a fight. McJesus is going to be getting that cup, but he has 6.5 minutes to do something about it. And we're down 1. 4 minutes remaining. Somebody, please. We didn't come all this way to lose to the Rangers. 1 minute, no. Please, come on, 1 minute. Come on, please. No, 30 seconds. Somebody, please. No. 'Cause you had a bad day.